What's up, mofos? Welcome to Avid and Genius. I'm Eric Harrison, your host, and let's take this franchise review into a new dimension with Friday the 13th Part 3 from 1982.
Weekends are a good time to escape to the woods. Unless the weekend begins with Friday the 13th. Because 13 is an unlucky number. But out here, so are 1 through 12. Because these are Jason's woods. And nobody leaves them alive. Friday the 13th, Part 3.
Okay, so Friday the 13th Part 3 in 3D came out in 1982 and was also directed by Steve Miner. What is the plot of Part 3? Well, did you see Friday the 13th 1 and 2? Well, that's pretty much the plot of Part 3. It's at this point, it's just kids going out to the lake to get killed. There's like this girl and her friends. They decide, let's go spend some time up at, I guess it's like her parents' place on the lake. And, you know, even though she was attacked there by Jason a few years prior, she still goes back. That seems to be a reoccurring theme so far in this series. People keep going back to a place where they shouldn't fucking go, and then they get killed. So it's their own fault, really. So, yeah, this one is a mixed bag to me. I enjoy it. It's fun, but in my opinion, it's most definitely kind of a brain-dead movie. The whole thing with this movie is the gimmick of the 3D. That was supposed to be the star of the movie, basically, was the 3D. It's popping out at you, you know, eyes are popping out, and knives and all sorts of sticks are, you know, aiming at the camera and whatever. Like, that's really all there was to it. They didn't put a lot of time into developing any kind of characters, really. There's no plot per se. There's really not much of a story, except, like I said, kids go out to lake, they get killed, that's it. So yeah, the killing in the 3D is what this movie had to offer. And, you know, back in 1982, it was kind of a resurgence in the whole 3D gimmick that was big in the 50s, kind of died down, and then was coming back again in the 80s. So this movie just cleaned up at the box office because, Jason killing people combined with the 3D is like a pretty good popcorn movie, but it doesn't quite have the substance that the first two had. I do feel like it's lacking. I do consider this, up to this point in the franchise, Part 3 to be inferior to 1 and 2. Yet, if you can just turn your brain off, make some popcorn, put on your old glasses there, and just have some fun, because that's what the movie's all about. A lot of people complain about the disco theme in this movie, but I don't know what you're complaining about. That shit's funky. Oh damn, it's like makes me want to like do some, I don't know, Saturday Night Fever shit. Like, oh yeah, is that what they do in the movie? They point like that. That's the whole thing. I don't know how to dance. Don't fucking judge me. But anyway, it is weird. It kind of comes out of left field, especially compared to the real creepiness of the music from parts 1 and 2, and number 3 is just all funky and shit. It's like, what the hell? Where did this come from? But that goes hand in hand with what this movie is supposed to be, which is why I call it brainless popcorn fun. It's just meant to be fun, you know. They're not out trying to change movie history. They're not trying to win Oscars or whatever. It's like, you know what, put on your glasses, shut up, and enjoy. They do specifically point out one of the female characters in this movie is pregnant.
5 minutes. That's what happens when you're pregnant.
And then she fucking gets killed by Jason. So I know the whole series is based on people getting killed, but for some reason it still sits wrong with me, thinking like, damn dude, Jason just killed a pregnant girl. That's messed up. Like, that's dark. And what is supposed to be such a fun movie, to just put that little bit of darkness, it's weird. It's kind of messed up. But then again, this is coming from somebody that watches these movies to watch people die, so I don't know. That's a whole debate for another fucking day. We have to mention, of course, that Friday the 13th Part 3 is where the infamous, now the iconic, the badass hockey mask that Jason wears. He got it from Shelley in this movie. Apparently what I heard is like one of the crew members on the movie was a hockey fan. He just happened to have like hockey gear and stuff. So they were doing like some lighting tests, and they pulled out the mask to do something to cover the guy's face, because they didn't want to put all the makeup on him, just to do a lighting test. So somebody put the mask on him, and it was like, whoa, that's cool. So they made like their own copy of that hockey mask, and that's now what is the most famous Jason hockey mask. But that's awesome. It is definitely a turning point in the series. I had no problem with Baghead Jason, even though he did look like a hillbilly running wild with his overalls and all that shit. But he's got like a change of costume now, and he's got that mask. He really looks way cooler in this movie, and I think that was probably... It could rest, the whole series could rest on that mask alone. It might have been that made him go, gosh, we should keep going. We actually got like an identifiable franchise villain now that we can milk for all it's worth, and they just keep making money, so let's fucking keep going with this. So yeah, when he comes out on the dock for the first time and he shoots what's her name, Vera, in the eye with like a harpoon or something, I love the way he just tosses that shit down on the dock and walks away like a fucking pimp. He's like, yeah, I just did that. Fuck you, what are you gonna do about it?
What are you doing? Hey, now cut that out right now. That's not funny.
I did happen to notice this time around watching the movie is that, you got your 1 or 2 kills in the beginning when he is, getting himself a new pair of clothes at that store run by the world's most unhappiest fucking couple. But then things kind of chill out for a long, long time in the movie. But somewhere around the hour mark, 50-minute mark, when the killing starts, it's like bam, 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 bam. He's just taking them out, like, seriously, one after the other within like a 12-minute span. You've got the body count went from like 2 to 9 or some shit like that. So that's actually kind of cool. At least when it actually gets down to business, when he gets the mask, that's when he gets down to business, and he just starts knocking people the fuck off one after the other. So that's pretty awesome. Well, last thing I want to mention is this motherfucker. Okay, the acting. This is the last thing I want to mention. Is the acting is definitely worse than it has been in the series up to this point. In the first one, the acting was pretty good except for Annie, and that's why she got her throat slit in the woods, because she was a terrible actress. Number 2, all the acting all around is fine, perfect. But number 3, you can tell they spent more money on the special effects, the 3D. They couldn't afford like really, really good actors. Sorry if any of you happen to be watching this. I didn't mean to insult you there. But yeah, it's definitely has gone downhill. And speaking of really bad acting, this is the most perfect, most fucking hilarious example is when this one biker dude, when his body drops out and his partner catches him, and then he like slumps over and his dead face is like, oh, I laugh out loud every fucking time I see that motherfucker. Because his acting is so bad, he can't even play dead good. Okay, anyway, that shit fucking cracks me up. With all of that said, it's okay. It's a popcorn movie. It's meant to be fun. It's nothing special except for the fact that, we got introduced to Hockey Mask Jason. I want to give it 3, appropriately enough, 3 out of 5 stars. And I feel like even that, I'm being a little bit generous. I definitely feel it's inferior to 1 and 2, but it's a fun movie. I give it 3 out of 5 stars. So check it out. Okay, so Friday the... Alright, so... God, what the hell? You'd think I never fucking talked before. What's wrong with me? Alright. Fucking ingenious.